He didn't do it till Ali was about 10, 12 years, not exact date is a bit not sure, but between 10 and 12 years of age. And Rasulullah was a grown-up man at that time. He was 40 when the decision was made that he has to announce his mission. And Rasulullah could have invited all the people into his own house, but he didn't. Where was it started? In whose house? Come on. Abu Talib alayhi salam's house, right? It was his uncle who had raised him. So, there was a food organized in Abu Talib's house, alayhi salam, and all the clan members were invited, all his uncles and all the senior relatives and all of them were invited. And they had the food and all that, and when it was turn for Rasulullah to speak, they all started having a laugh and shouting and all that and they walked out. And again it happened the second day, and then again it was about to happen on the third day, when Abu Talib alayhi salam knew that this was going to carry on. They wouldn't let Rasulullah speak. So as soon as the food was finished, he announced that you all keep quiet and sit down. And my nephew will speak and everybody is going to listen. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he announced his mission and he spoke about the unity of God and the fact that he, Muhammad ibn Abdullah, was the prophet of God. And he asked for support. He asked for support from his people. And he said that whoever supports me in my mission, he will be my successor and my heir in the future, after me. Nobody stood up. Nobody said anything. It was all quiet. And we all know the young boy, Ali ibn Abi Talib, stood up and said, Ana Rasulullah, I will be your supporter, O Rasulullah. And Rasulullah asked him to sit down. And he announced it again asked for support. Nobody said anything. Ali ibn Abi Talib again said, I will be your supporter. And this happened the third time as well. And then Rasulullah said, in fact the third time, Imam Ali said to Rasulullah, O Rasulullah, I might be a young boy and my limbs might be weak, but I'll promise you loyalty from my side. And Ali alayhi salam was very loyal to Rasulullah throughout his lifetime. And then Rasulullah said, okay Ali, you will be my wali, my wasi, and my khalifa after me. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. You know, the people mocked Abu Talib alayhi salam when Rasulullah said this, that Ali is going to be his wasi, his wali, and the khalifa. He said, you know what, you have to listen to your 10-year-old child now. He said, I'm mocking him. People don't understand these things. People always look short-sighted. They don't realize the truth beyond what they see from the physical eyes. And sometimes our wisdoms can be clouded because of all the sins that we do. And that is why it is important to be on the side of the truth. The whole time, every night, I'm speaking about this. Be on the right side. Practice it. So that when we are required to be on the side of the truth, we are used to being on the side of the truth. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. What Imam Ali alayhi salam promised on that day, he kept fulfilling throughout. He was loyal all the time. We see in Badr, right? Okay, on the migration night, we saw that. We see in Badr, in Uhud, in Hunayn, in Khandaq. He's always by Rasulullah's side. He wrote the Treaty of Hudaybiyah when a lot of people, many of the companions, actually started having doubts on the Prophet himself, on his prophethood. He was loyal then. And there was another time when Rasulullah asked him to go and deliver the verses of Surah Tawbah, when somebody else was already sent and was called back. And Imam Ali was sent on his behalf again. Because the command came from Allah that this can only be done by somebody who is truthful and is a part of you. And there was only one person. Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I mean, after Hijrah, or after migration from Makkah to Medina, Rasulullah was creating a brotherhood between the people who had migrated, the Muhajirun, and the Ansars, who were the helpers from Medina. So he created one man from Muhajirs, one man from the Ansar, together. They shared everything, they stayed with him and all that. And at the end, nobody was left for Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. So Ali asked Rasulullah, Oh Rasulullah, are you upset with me? Have I made a mistake? Why haven't I got any brother for myself? And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam hugged him and said, Oh Ali, you are my brother in this world and in the hereafter. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, throughout the time of Islam in Medina, we see Imam Ali alayhi salam being loyal to Rasulullah and close to Rasulullah. Rasulullah breathed his last in Imam Ali's lap. And the people decided to select another leader and break the allegiance they had given on the day of Ghadir. Yes? Everybody had given bay'ah on the day of Ghadir, but they broke the allegiance because they wanted to have the power. And at that time, Imam Ali alayhi salam was shrouding and burying Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Imam Ali was deprived of his rights. For 25 years, he had no rights. What was his right? He was quiet, but he was not doing nothing. He was actively participating in his life. He was planting trees, digging wells, and advising people whenever they needed any advice. Whenever, even the caliphs, they knew that Ali was the most knowledgeable person, the most wise person. And whenever they needed advice, Ali was there to help them out. So he was helping the new Muslim nation in as many forms as he could, without actually running the nation. And slowly he could see the future shaping up in front of his eyes. So this was an Imam. He had basira, or vision, insight. And he could see. And he had already been foretold the events of Karbala by Rasulullah, about the tragedy that will be inflicted on his son, Hussein, and other members of his family. Now, Imam Ali never asked for anything from Allah for himself, but he did do dua for a brave son who would help Imam Hussein alayhi salam on the day of Ashura, during the time of Karbala. When after the passing of Fatima, salamullah alayhi, she had done a will that Imam Ali will marry again. And when Imam Ali wanted to get married, he asked his brother Aqil to find out about a brave and a pious lady. Now his brother Aqil was an expert in genealogy, about families, about the ancestry of people and all that. That is genealogy. Now Imam Ali just didn't do dua and sit on it. Like a lot of us here, when we're in trouble, we tend to do dua and sit on it. Oh Allah, please do something for us. But we have to seek help from the right sources and do dua along with it. And we've got to keep working hard for it. Then only the du'as come to fruition. Otherwise, if we just sit and do dua, Allah will say, how am I going to just give it to him on his lap? How does it work? We live in a world of cause and effect. You create the causes, do dua, the effect will come. Inshallah. So, Ali asked his brother for advice. And his brother Aqil told him about a lady by the name of Fatima Kalabiya, whom we know popularly as, what's the name? Baneen. We know her as Baneen, or the mother of sons. And Imam Ali got married to this lady, Fatima Kalabiya. She was a very humble and pious lady. She considered herself as a maid to Imam Hassan, Hussein, Zainab, and Kulthum. And she bore 4 sons for Imam Ali alayhi salam, which is why she's called Baneen. And she raised them in such a manner that they will all be helping Imam Hussein alayhi salam in the battle of Karbala. Especially when Abbas alayhi salam was born, the oldest son, he wouldn't open his eyes, just like his father. And when Imam Hussein picked him up, he opened his eyes, as if he wanted to see Imam Hussein first before he saw anybody else or anything else. He had strong respect for Imam Hussein and Zainab. These two people he had a very special respect for. And his mother, Baneen, inculcated in him that his purpose in life was to serve Imam Hussein, his brother. Now, he never referred to Imam Hussein as his brother, always referred to him as his Imam. That's the kind of respect he had for his brother. And he was a very handsome man. The people referred to him as the moon of Bani Hashim. You always hear him referred to as Qamar Bani Hashim. Remember, Bani Hashim had lots of handsome youth. They had Ali al-Akbar, they had Qasim. Despite that, he was considered the moon of Bani Hashim. That is Abbas alayhi salam. He was a very brave warrior. He was expert in swordsmanship, horse riding, all the crafts of war. He was very expert in. And he was very trusted by his family members. Whenever they faced any problem, that Abbas is going to sort out the problem. That's how much they liked him and they trusted him. But Abbas was severely tested in Karbala. He was a warrior, and going to battle and fighting would have been much easier for him. But he was tested very, very much. His patience, his restraint was tested in Karbala. But he was very loyal to his Imam. He did exactly what Imam Hussain wanted to do and wherever he wanted him to do. Now, he followed his Imam. When Imam said, Abbas, put the tents by the river, he did that. When Imam said, remove the tents from here and move it over there, Abbas did that. It could have been difficult, but it was a test of his loyalty, his patience, and his servitude, basically, to Imam Hussain. And he was told by his parents, especially his mother, that in Karbala he had to fight and protect Hussain. Yet, he never got permission. He was the only one who never got permission to fight the battle in Karbala. Everybody was given permission. However grieving Imam Hussain was, they got permission and they went to fight the battle. Abbas ﷺ was never given any permission by Imam Hussain to go and fight. He dug wells, tried to get water out on the 8th and 9th of Muharram. He was digging wells around the sands, just to get some water out for the people who are thirsty, especially the children. And on the 9th of Muharram, when it was clear there will be no more negotiation, this battle is going to happen, Imam Hussain called him and said, may my soul be sacrificed for you, my brother. Can you imagine? The Imam of the time, when he says, may my soul be sacrificed for you, my brother, that has some status. It's not an exaggeration like we say sometimes. It's the Imam of the time talking about himself. And he said to Abbas that, may my soul be sacrificed for you, my brother. Why don't you go to the enemy camp and ask Umar Saad to give us one more day of life in this world, so that we can pray and recite the Quran. And you know how much I like reciting the Quran and praying. And Abbas went. Maybe Imam was actually hoping that one extra day would give them, the enemy, some sense not to indulge in this battle and get themselves to hellfire. Abbas went and asked for another extra day. They were given a time for an extra day. And Abbas was polishing his weapons for the battle that was going to happen the next day. And Burair Hamdani, who was there, he said to Abbas, Abbas, the day has come for which your father raised you. And Abbas was deeply affected by this sentence. And he pulled at the reins of his horse so hard that the rein broke off. And he said to Burair, Burair, you trying to remind me of this? I've been anticipating this day for all my life. Let me go to battle, and the enemies of Hussain will learn a lesson. Alas, he never had the chance to go to battle. On the 10th of Muharram, on the day of Ashura, people went one by one to fight, and they were killed. But Imam Hussain would not give permission to Abbas. He said, Imam would say, you are the commander of my army. You are the bearer of my flag. How can I let you go? Abbas ultimately had to reply, the commander of the army that I was does not exist anymore. There is no army. It's only you and me. And the children are thirsty. At least let me get some water from them. Sakina was coming out with a parched water skin. And Imam saw it. And he said to Abbas, okay, you can go and get some water. And Abbas was relieved. He took Sakina's water skin, got on his horse with the flag, and went towards the river. But the army had dispersed from the river at that time, and he reached the river. Abbas reached the river. This, my dear brothers and sisters, is personally very, very touching for me. You see a man thirsty for 3-4 days. He's been working hard. He's been digging trenches, digging wells for the water. and he goes to the river is lapping at his feet. He does not drink.